Welcome. This is Decompressing with Xanaris. So, I thought I'd do something a little bit different before we started something wicked. And I wanted to show you just me sitting down and enjoying a cup of coffee. Well, not sitting, but making. That is a little espresso maker that I bought from Puerto Rico. I've had it for a long time. As you can tell, it has some use to it. I I try to wake up every morning, take a moment, sit, meditate for a little bit, and then have some coffee. That there is a Sumatra dark roast. I like my coffee strong enough to wake the dead, so I put just a bit and just a bit more and a little bit more just in case. One of the good things about espresso makers is that you don't need much, and when you do put into it, it is enough to wake the dead if you do it properly. And sometimes I think I need that. Very meticulous about keeping kitchen clean, so you'll see me cleaning up as I go. Something that you should do. It's a habit I picked up working in food retail. I really do enjoy the sound of that when it connects, don't you? Now, I was having difficulties here because I wanted you to see the coffee boiling over, so I decided to go to the bigger burner. A little bit of a wipe down, make sure everything stays nice and clean. That ring used to fit me very tightly, but I have lost 155 pounds, so it's kind of moving all over the place now. For you coffee purists, before you yell at me, I did not have a pot small enough to boil my milk. I could not find it. So it got microwaved. I nuked it. Whoop, knocked down some of my spices. As you can tell, this is not edited. It's one of those things that just kind of happen, as are most things, really. I Those are the knobs that an ex of mine's put on the oven, and that's what's causing that issue now. It's a thing. Here I am getting my nuclear reactor heated milk, which, keep in mind, I don't grab that with a glove, but I probably should because it was so hot I could feel it in my fingertips. You have to listen to the coffee as it slowly begins to do its thing. It's like hearing birds wake up in the morning, that bubbling noise. And I have a little bit of a thing that I always check my cinnamon. Back home, ants usually get into sweet things. So there's that. And then it becomes kind of a waiting game. With that being said, how was your week? Oh, so when it comes to sugar, I have actually gotten a lot better with it since I started the whole eating process, losing weight and all that. I don't put half as much as I used to. And that's brown sugar there, dark brown. So if you didn't know, dark brown sugar is colored with molasses, and it kind of gives it that little bit of extra sweetness and a little bit of tart. It's good when you have a dark roast coffee if you're looking for a little bit of a oomph to that. Oh, and I didn't knock anything down, thankfully. Ah, yes. And my friend Cinnamon. Make cinnamon your friend too. I tell you, it'll make your coffee better. Just a touch. A little bit more. Come on, don't be cheap. One more. Thank you. So, whenever I sit down to do my morning coffee, I may not always get the time to do it. Wait, what am I doing here? Let's see. Do, do, do. I'm looking for something. Oh, the syrup. So I had actually bought that syrup. It's a vanilla syrup to be able to do London fog, to prepare London fog tea in the morning. But to be honest with you, I kind of get tired of tea after a while, and I need caffeine to make me feel more like a human being. Don't get me wrong, I love tea, and you should love tea too. Maybe next time. Oh, and this is me catching the computer almost dying and quickly trying to get the charger in without burning the cord. Let's see if I manage it. Do, 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 do. This is what happens when you do live edits, everybody. It's something to kind of sit with for a moment. Ah, we got it. I'm a little bit impatient, so I have to kind of charge her up a little bit more. Give it some time. Now, while working on this video, I had realized just how much information there is out there. Oh, you have to listen to it again. It's like the birds chirping in the morning. And pick up the heat a little bit more and give it a look. So close, but not yet. So, for those of you who have asked, oh, and a little bit of Macarena for you early in the morning. I don't know how to dance, which is kind of sad. My mother being Caribbean and my father being Afro Caribbean, you would think I would know how, but I don't. So there's that. Now, some of you have asked, how do I prepare for something wicked? Usually takes about 2 weeks for every episode. Oh, almost there. Close. Not yet. And that's kind of how the episodes go themselves. There's a lot of junk on the internet. So you have to take a moment, really kind of settle through it, look through it. Finding scientific articles or articles behind paywalls for the most of the time can be hard, but not impossible. Oh, that's me going to my fridge, seeing what I can find. Forgive the mess in my fridge. Oh boy. I was looking to see if I could find something sweet to eat with this, and I purposely don't keep anything sweet in the house anymore because of that. Because if not, I will eat it. Once a fat boy, always a fat boy. So close. Now, keeping that in mind, when you're using a little espresso maker like that, you do want the heat to be subtle. If you put it too hot, you will burn your coffee and it will give it a very sour taste. So be patient, like I'm showing here, as I'm patiently impatient waiting, which kind of happens with content as well. I know everyone's so hungry to go and see new stuff, but I promise it's not always quantity, if not quality. And we are doing our best to bring you the best that we can. But sometimes we cheat, like I'm doing right now, to pick up that heat just a little bit more because I need it. I'm in need already. But like I was saying, usually takes about 2 weeks. I break things down and I make an outline of topics that I find interesting. And then I'll kind of build up on that in bullet points. And I'll go and I'll take major dates, people, times, and I'll add that into it, especially when I'm speaking about people. When you talk about cryptids, not so much. But when you're talking about people like the royal family, it can get a little bit confusing. You have Prince Edward, you've got Maggie, you have this other woman named Willis. Because everyone knows Diana and everyone knows the Queen, but do you really know who they are? Not really. Most people don't. Well, not even I. And I researched them. Do you know that the actual people that go on are historians for the royal family? They get paid to do that. They know them all throughout their family line, all throughout their gene tree. Oh, almost there. Uh huh. But I think we finally hit gold. No, we did not. Forgive me, my espresso maker was being very stinky with me. But as I took time to sit with everything for this episode, I realized there are a lot of people who are very fascinated by royalty. It's a thing. And as someone who's not really a fan of the monarchs, just never really been much of a fan of any type of ruling body. Maybe that's the anarchist in me. But watching people go gaga over the king and queen and one, almost two, oh, it's fighting back, and three. I'm a fan of three, as you should be as well. But monarchies within of themselves are odd. Oh, I think I think the baby finally made it. Oh, she's pretty. That smile that only coffee can bring as it begins to boil up. I am not afraid of sink water. Sink water has kept me going for a long period of my life. You can keep your Fiji, you can keep everything else. I'll take my water from the sink. Ah, yes. My heart warms. I've been thinking too, as we continue to do this, what topics do I bring you? How do I truly show you something wicked, something horrible? But not yet. Right now, just coffee. That's all we get. So, even though I have hands built for strangling a bear, I do my best to not burn my fingertips again. And I use my little hand mints, which look comically small on my hands. Oh, I got a little excited and I spilled just a little bit. Oh, and there it goes. Ah, can you see it? Can you smell it from here? It smells great. Oh, man. I'd say just looking at that makes me want a cup of coffee. Doesn't it make you want a cup of coffee? Now, I personally like my coffee brown and sweet like myself. So I do my best to not overpower it because I can't do black coffee. I don't understand what the fascination is or why people do it, but to each their own, I suppose. Always make sure to stir your coffee properly. You don't want little granules of sugar all over the place. Makes for a bad mouthfeel. Just taste the milk. The milk also boiling hot still. I am not a fan of cold coffee, which may bring some of you to dislike me, and that's fair. But cold brew, mm-mm. Cold brew has no place in my kingdom. And you don't want to go too heavy with the syrup. One little teaspoon of that is all that you need, if not a little bit less. And I realized that that coffee was black enough to knock the spirit out of me, so I decided to add just a little bit more milk. Get it properly mixed, and we're done. That is a good, good cup of coffee.